Wow, what can I say, man? Scream Queens, the season finale, the 2 hour season finale was tonight. If you could already tell, I'm not a happy camper, honestly. This season finale was such a dud. It had some good things going for it, but they totally just dropped the ball on the season finale. It just went out. Not as a roar, not as anything shocking or epic, but just as a whimper. I'm gonna give you guys reasons why this episode definitely did not work tonight, but I'll let you guys. I'm just not happy, man. I mean, I just got done watching it right now, and I looked over. I'm like, that was a weak ass ending. That was weak. So what we had in this season finale, spoiler review. Just a reminder, spoiler review. The first hour works. The first hour really works in this episode because we have Pete confessing like he did kill in the Red Devil suit, but he's not the original killer, which I pretty much had a sense. I really did think that was the case. So we see him confessing to Grace that like, yeah, I know who it was. I found out it was Boone, and I know who the other killer is. So he's telling Grace, Grace is disgusted, which was like, Grace is like, that's why I don't like this character, because she's so disgusted, so like sick of this guy. But Grace was about to kill the dean, Jamie Lee Curtis, like nothing. Like she was like, yeah, she has to go. So this bitch, honestly, like seriously, stop with the goody two shoe act. It was just so stupid. I'm talking about the character, not actually talking about the person here. So, and then we have Pete confessing stuff, and then he gets stabbed by the Red Devil. So I'm assuming you saw the episode tonight. He gets stabbed by the Red Devil, so Pete dies. I did like his character, but not too much. We move on. The Red Devil does knock out Grace. Doesn't kill Grace, just knocks her out. We see Chanel the stupidest thing. Like, she does this open letter she sends to everybody, so this is on the media, whatever, calling, just totally ripping apart all the other Chanels and saying, I'm gonna kill you, or we're planning to kill the dean, Jamie Lee Curtis, and you didn't show up, like the whole plan that from last episode. And it goes public, which is kind of a dumb little setup as well. I've seen it before, and I've seen it done better, honestly. So we have that. And then we have her thinking that the chick that got burnt, the other Chanel who was supposed to take over, who got burnt, Chanel thinks, Emma Roberts thinks that's her, so they go to her house because, was it Hester, I think? Yeah, it was Hester, that one that said, like, oh yeah, this scarred chick came in here saying dork or whatever. And Chanel found out, oh yeah, it's that one girl. So she went over there to try to kill her, but she didn't kill her in the first hour. We find Grace and Zayday, and I mean, I knew it wasn't Zayday, so we find Grace and Zayday trying to dig up some dirt, see who's the real killer is, but they need to get into the dean's office, and this is the funny part. Like, Grace uses her dad to seduce Jamie Lee Curtis, and what's so funny is, after I knew that was gonna happen too. Like, after they bang, like, he couldn't get enough. Like, he's like, holy shit, that was the best sex I've ever had. Best sex I've ever had. Babe, if you want to, take it somewhere, I'm cool with that. I'm cool. It was so stupid but funny. And Jamie Lee Curtis knew what's up. He's like, oh, what are you trying to gain out of this? I know you're just not sleeping with me for just the hell of it, but Jamie Lee Curtis wants to hit that. And then Grace and Zayday find out that a lot of the girl and who pretty much fake files, this and that. They find out it's one of because Pete did say that it was one of the Kappa House girls. So Grace figures it out. But we also see Hester stealing a bunch of Emma Roberts shit, Chanel's shit, like her necklace and everything. I was just like, why is she doing that? What is going on? Now, I will say this right now, because Little Miss Sunshine doesn't go with Chanel. Like, she backs out last minute because somebody, like, she was going to meet a guy and everything. I thought Little Miss Sunshine, or Chanel number 5, whatever the hell her name is, I thought she was a killer. I was like, you know what, she could be the killer. But then when I kind of thought about it, and I was watching this episode, I was like, the killer has kind of a big kind of her body type. Her body type. We know it's a girl. We know, and Pete even says it's a girl. It's a twin, and it's twin of Boone, right? It's a twin of Boone. So who else has black hair in the house? That is where Hester comes in. So Hester fakes her own like almost death, where she stabs herself with the heel, pins it on Chanel's. Grace and Zayde find out like, hey, you're the killer, but when they go to the house, like she's already there's a heel sticking out of her eye. So great. I've heard it before, but it was great to say, where she says like, yeah, well, if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna go all the way to this, you have to be able to hurt yourself or able to, get a little dirty. So she stabbed her own self with the heel to make it believe like, oh yeah, she isn't the killer, that she can't be the killer. But she pins Chanel, she pins Little Miss Sunshine, she pins the earmuff Chanel, and gets them pretty much at the end of this episode committed to the Sam Asylum. I already say this because at the end of that hour, we find out, because it's weird. It goes straight to basically like future events. Like it time skips. It time skips without telling us what happens to the Chanels before any of that, and it shows Hester with an eye patch on, and she's looking different. We see Grace and Zayde when they're like the new Kappa House, management, so to speak. And she's doing her little monologue, her little narration. She said, "Yeah, I was the killer. I am Boone's twin sister. I am the other baby." This is where it goes off the rails, man. Like that second hour was just absolutely horrible. It was horrible. It was great for the explanation with Hester and how she came into the house, but I'm not going to bore you with it. All you need to know is, yeah, it was a plan in the making. She is the sister of Boone. Gigi took care of them. They set out for this plan. They saw the Red Devil costume. They killed the mascot. They got it. She faked her way in there. Boone was an idiot. That's all you need to know. It was just absolutely horrible. Why would you make this a 2-hour event if you're going to already tell us who the killer is? You save I know it's tradition to save the killer at the very end, but that's why they do it. Because if you introduce the killer, and you could actually, I would have been fine if she did the narration, she did her little story real quick, and that was the end of the episode. Well, I wouldn't have been fine, because where these characters end up and then how they just like wrap this all up was so lazy, so stupid. Chad is not even in this episode. He's in like the very last like ending of it. Him and Denise, that's kind of funny, but it's just, oh my God. The way they send out the Chanels was the most pathetic, stupid way possible. Like, they have them in court, they're trying to win their case, but they're stupid enough not to get lawyers, and they end up going to the insane asylum. That's what I said. They love it there, apparently. It looks like Hester comes back to finish off the job with Chanel at the very end of the episode. It was stupid. This episode, actually, this whole season finale wasn't that funny. There wasn't the twists and turns that I would have liked. I mean, with the show series like this, it would have been nice to have some shock value in it. That's when you could use the shock value. So there wasn't that. Absolutely just very mediocre. Not even mediocre. That last hour was just horrible. I was just waiting for this thing to freaking end. I didn't care anymore. The only little thing I really liked was when the dean, Jamie Lee Curtis, goes to Hester and he's like, "I know it was you, and I need to turn your ass in." But then Hester's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to say that you murdered your ex-husband and this and that." And she's like, "Unless you say it's all good and we can go our separate ways." Jamie Lee Curtis looks at her and says, "All right, it's all good." Like, that was pretty funny. That was a good moment. But everything else, and then Grace and her stupid little, with a baby, if you need help with your kids, if you're popping out babies, just call the Lifeline. It's just so stupid. Oh, my God. I mean, Zayde's with her. It was just such a it was a waste, man. It makes you watch. Yes, there's a lot of funny moments in Scream Queens, but when when you're invested in a series, like for me, the beginning doesn't have to be all too good, because I've seen a lot of series where it really just picks up like in the fifth episode. It doesn't, and it gets super good in the middle. If you don't end it, or vice versa, like if it's amazing in the first half and then it's amazing in the second half, but if you don't get a great ending, it's a ruin to the series. I don't care what it is, it's a ruin to the series. It just like kind of like, you don't even want to watch it. You don't even want to watch, especially with television series, you don't even want to watch it because that ending was just so bad. And like, what's the fucking point of watching this whole thing again when I'm going to get an ending that doesn't satisfy me whatsoever? And that's exactly what Scream Queens did. And it's horrible, man, because I really did like the series. I really thought it was funny. There was a couple episodes that are mediocre, but this one was bad, man. This one was, I don't understand the 2-hour event. I don't understand that shit. And I don't understand what the writers were thinking or the actual person who put this together. Like, did he really think this was going to revolutionize kind of storytelling? Because it didn't. It just made it boring, lackluster. It didn't do anything. It didn't satisfy you where the characters were at the end of this episode. It didn't really shock you when Hester revealed that she was the killer, because you're like, okay, you are a crazy chick. Like, that doesn't. Little Miss Sunshine would kind of shock me, but you don't really shock me. I'm not. I mean, I'm all okay for Hester being the killer, but don't reveal it. And we have an hour left to go. It's just, that's a terrible idea, and that was a terrible decision to make. So, Scream Queens, I absolutely enjoyed the series, but with this ending being as bad as it was, there is no point of going and re-watching the series, honestly. I want to thank you guys for listening to my reviews. If you've been watching me talk about Scream Queens, I had a live reaction about Scream Queens, and a lot of theories were thrown out, a lot of laughs were thrown out as well. I mean, by all means, this series has so much great moments in it, fantastic moments in it, very good comedy. But with the ending, like it happened, it's just terrible. And I don't know if I'm at the verge of maybe not even recommending it to anybody just because of that ending. But I guess I would recommend it because there's too much gold in here. There's too much quotable lines. But the ending was terrible. The last hour was just absolutely horrendous. This episode really just bogged down the series as a whole. So sorry to say, like, that's just how I think. That's just how I go with things. Like, if you don't give me a satisfying ending, then it's kind of a waste. It was kind of a waste of my time. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for at least more reviews than, I have other reviews, and Star Wars is coming next week. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. I mean, am I the only one here, or did you absolutely think as well as like it just was terrible? It was a terrible last hour. So I'm Dan America, Dan's son, and I hope you guys have a great night. And yeah, that was Scream Queen season finale. What can I say? Ending in a whimper. All right. Bye, guys.